8:15, new day, new month.
What
It's
a way.
July 1st, 2024. We're Island T. What's up?
A new month already. Wow.
You were supposed to play a Christmas song. Remember Christmas in July? Good morning, all.
Good morning to everybody. Just, welcome to a brand new month. It's July 1st, 2024. Blessed morning to the citizens, residents of nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis. We trust that you are having a great day. To everyone who is listening, whether here in St. Kitts and Nevis or whether around the region or even internationally, we say, welcome. We love the fact that you take time out to listen to our program every morning, and so we want to say thank you also to the callers. We get a number of callers here every morning, and so we want to say thank you as well. It is a beautiful morning. In fact, it has been a very, a festive weekend. We had the St. Kitts Music Festival, all 3 nights over the weekend. We had Thursday, Friday, and Saturday was the conclusion, and then on Sunday, cars were lined across the Frigate Bay Road. Just before you reach up Timothy Hill, you see the traffic. Yes, Jamster.
What were you talking about yesterday?
Yeah. White Sands.
White Sands,
And I see that there was Miss Molly, who was a judge, the swimwear queen. And so for those persons who assisted behind the scenes, persons who participated in everything, all the festive activities for the weekend, congratulations to you. And for those persons, it would have been a busy time here in St. Kitts and Nevis, some persons coming in.
Yep, and I must say, I heard a lot of the artists talking about St. Kitts, how they love it. Tony Rebel spoke about the development that he saw from the last time he was here. And now Brianna D, I think she talked about the red cheek mango. So I don't know if she means the grafted or the rosy cheek, because she renamed them. Is it Freddie Jackson, I think? He too echoed the sentiments of loving and enjoying St. Kitts, and I'm glad that Music Festival went over well and uneventful. The patrons seem to have had a great time. I heard Thursday night was lauded as the best one. Jamster?
No, someone said that the crowd was bigger than last year.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because it was Adam O, because I didn't even know, and Adam O gave St. Kitts his praises again to say that Rastickle and Akayo Sweet produced 2 of his top songs. I didn't know we have such creatives.
But most persons said, based on my account,
he had a song on the stickle drum rhythm as well.
Yeah.
And his manager is Kittian.
Ooh.
Kevy Kev is his manager.
No, I don't even know who's Kevy Kev. Shameful to say, but I didn't know. I was like, wow, St. Kitts is really on the scene doing big things. People love the island. They're singing praises. Even, I think, Yarane Morton, she even thanked them for singing the praises for St. Kitts at Saturday's press conference. So that is... She represented for all the...
Yarane was the chairman?
I don't know if the chairman, but the chair of that day.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay,
because I noticed Junie was...
so they were different.
Friday, yeah.
Oh, they were different folks.
So Monarch was on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Junie was so I didn't watch Saturday, so okay.
I just got to see a little bit of it, and she represented. She thanked them for their thoughts, their well wishes about St. Kitts. She thanked them for noticing the growth, etc., etc. So she represented as well.
Yeah. So to persons out there, those are persons want to say thank you for your contributions. It has been also a time, and you look at numerous things happening. We have Hurricane Beryl. Yes, Beryl. He, I guess, that's a she, whichever, is really...
Oh, it's Beryl?
It's
Beryl. Oh, Beryl.
Yes. So I'm guessing it's a she.
Beryl is
a lady's name.
Yeah, a lady's
name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even say I'm guessing. It is a lady's name.
So,
I just
based
didn't want to
on
put
the
it on us.
information, there are several airports, being affected, being closed.
Flights being cancelled as
Yeah,
well.
Barbados, based on what I've seen in the social media, it seems as though they are about to experience it. I don't know if they have already started experiencing it.
I
but-
was watching
Mhm.
a live cam in Barbados yesterday.
You mean with them
afternoon.
standing outside the supermarket?
No, not that one. The one I saw was
They had a
like
hurricane
it's
cam.
like a beachside.
Yeah, just showing
thing.
you as the day progressed how people were going
Yeah.
inside.
Oh.
Yeah,
And
and it
people
was
in-
just showing you.
They were saying, the person was saying, "Oh, why are these people?" I mean, you could hear the wind in the cam mic,
Yeah,
but it wasn't like
Mhm.
crazy
Terrible,
yet,
yeah.
but people were still sea
in the
bathing and so
beach.
on.
Yeah.
And people in the comments.
Hear
said-
me in the beach, in the water.
yeah. So people,
Oh my gosh.
people in the comments were like, "Oh, why are these people?" And I was thinking, well, it's not. I mean, they could probably get in a good hour or two before anything
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
That's,
but
but based on my knowledge, I don't think Barbados really experiences hurricanes.
Usually, no.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's really different things happening already.
yeah. Do you see how cooler the nights are right now? And it was extremely hot just recent. This climate change thing is
Yeah.
it's real.
Yeah, it hasn't
Yeah.
been quite as hot in the night.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
one more thing I have to mention before we go on about the music festival. The fireworks. I
Oh.
was up at 4, but the fireworks started around 4:07, 4:10,
Yeah.
and I heard it affected some folks,
Oh.
especially some children. So,
Oh my God.
could you imagine at 4 o'clock?
Yeah. If
An
you have a bad
adult being
heart, yeah.
woken up at that time, and then sensitive children and other children just jumping out their sleep. The first boom caught me, but I know it wasn't a bullet. It was because I was up that early. I know it was fireworks. So I don't know what recommendations can be given to the committee in terms of. I understand it's a combination. We want to do it big, but we have to be considerate of other folks.
You have a caller calling in?
What's funny is that I joked to my wife that it was a coup.
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, also we see that so many persons are giving their take on what is happening in the U.S., the first debate. I know we spoke about it on Friday,
yes, I saw
but
some clips.
persons are still doing their reviews as to the performances, based on persons in the media, they're saying that, former President Trump would have made certain false claims.
Always.
And, other persons, based on the media, you see them questioning whether or not President Biden,
The guy was wall to wall
Would,
lying.
whether President, oh,
Yeah, he was wall to wall
Yeah.
lying, man.
We have a caller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
I want to thank Kortensia for bringing up that particular point. I know, it's a festive time, etc., but presently the catchphrase inclusivity has been going around. And I'm hoping that we as a people really understand and appreciate what that word actually means. And the people who it is intended for, how much a lot of things that we take for granted, it impacts them. She mentioned the whole thing of children, especially young children who are on the spectrum. Loud noises and the light, they have a strong sensitivity to both. I myself am a parent in the spectrum community, and my little one was severely impacted by it. But speaking with other parents, it was good by everyone. Children jumping out of their sleep terrified and having a hard time getting back to sleep. Situations not even being able to go back to sleep.
You mentioned your son.
And it's not a case where I'm trying to bring a damper on the festivities, but again,
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I was just going to ask you, mention your son. Hello?
Okay.
Oh,
Right,
it seems connection is bad. That's why.
Hello?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. I know, take for example, some countries in their attempt to address the whole notion of inclusivity, etc.
Mm-hmm.
They try to utilize fireworks that don't make those loud bangs, or if there is the need for them, they typically put them in areas where they don't impact persons as much. So probably like out at sea on a barge,
So you see
where the
them. You
sound.
see them more than hear them. Yeah.
Correct,
Mhm.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
So how did it affect
It's just for
your
us to take the time and really use our imaginations to come up with some answers. It's not a case where anyone is suggesting don't use them at all, but let's be
Okay.
a bit more responsible and conscientious of the fact that persons can be impacted by it. And we often reference children, but we have to remember it's not just children that are on the spectrum. Like, once you're born that way, that goes with you throughout life. So
Okay.
just wanted to share that and thank Kortensia again for bringing it up.
Thank you
Okay,
so
you're
much.
welcome.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So in relation to the hurricane, right? This is Beryl. At first it came out tropical storm, and in less than 42 hours already powerful hurricane. And so I think we should be cautious. We look out to see what the updates are. We pray for our brothers and sisters across the region, because we've seen how hurricanes have devastated lives and livelihood, and we just want to pray.
Actually, I have.
Uh-huh.
I can play something from CNN, latest from 22 minutes ago. So let's check this out. Let's see.
I was just asking my friend in Barbados, and he said this morning is when they're getting the gust of winds, very strong with scattered showers.
Yeah, it's a Category 3 hurricane right now, but it's only come down just a little bit in that center intensity because we are kind of resetting and changing the structure of the hurricane a little bit. That also means that the wind field has gotten fatter, so more of these islands could see these hurricane force and tropical storm force winds, and we do expect that intensity to come back up a little bit more. So here's a look at it, and you can see what I'm talking about with the eye wall kind of resetting itself a little bit, getting a little bit more clouded. But we've got some of the outer bands already coming into some of these islands like Barbados and Grenada. Category 3 hurricane with 120-mile-per-hour winds sitting east and southeast there of Grenada. Seeing some of these showers starting to get into some of these outer bands lashing as we look towards the Barbados radar here. Winds have already gusted up to 60 miles per hour in Barbados, 43-mile-per-hour sustained winds right now. The core of that eye wall could create even storm surge up to 6 to 9 feet. Rain totals are looking at some 3 to 6 inches of rain that could cause some problems on these islands. There it goes with the intensity coming back up to a Category 4. And then it continues to scrape a lot of these islands here in the Caribbean Sea, eventually making it to Mexico later this week.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
so
pretty
you
cool.
see at 1.4, then, based
It's
on
down to
it's down
3.
to 3 now, and based on what she was saying in the end.
It's gonna go up. It's gonna go up to
Yes.
about 4, and it seems to be going northwest. So
There
it's
is
gonna go
something
across the Yucatan Peninsula.
Here
Yeah.
that says it's trying for 5, but it may not work. But they're saying Beryl is the strongest storm to get to Cat 4 category since 1933.
Oh, God.
How far back was that?
Because at that point in time, you hear
That's almost 100
you heard
years.
about tropical depression, you hear about the tropical storm, and then in no time you hear, well, Beryl turned into hurricane. Yeah. So,
Well, what I had seen yesterday, and which was pretty much what they're saying, is that it was projected to go up to 120 as it went further that way.
Yeah.
Not west.
yeah. And she highlight the Caribbean countries, Barbados and Grenada.
Grenada. Yeah.
Yeah, Petit Martinique, Petit Carriacou,
Yeah.
St. Vincent, St. Lucia, all of those countries are on the watch right now. Most of them ordering places to be closed down since Sunday in preparation for this.
Some of the videos that I
anticipated
saw, you had
storms.
Barbadians laid up outside the supermarket.
Supermarket, yeah. It
Lines.
reminds me of COVID.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
did.
Really?
They said, they said, stock up on food, put gas in your vehicle, take out extra cash. And there's me at the stove thinking extra cash. Those people that are outside are listening to this and probably thinking in their head, time to go to some houses during the storm. You just have to think. You just have to think about everything because you're supposed to be inside, but people are going to be outside.
But you'd probably be home though. So.
You think that?
Yeah, but do you think they care? When people make
I
up in their
guess.
mind to come in your house, they come in, Jamster.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a call. Call
Okay.
go right. Oh, okay.
Can we miss that call?
Oh, here we go. On to the next.
Okay.
Call go right ahead. Sorry.
Oh, we missed that one?
Boy, both. We missed both.
Okay.
There's someone else. I see here the Honorable Mark Brantley saying, well, Music Fest is done. It's now time for Mango Festival and then Culturama 50 and our homecoming celebrations. What a summer of fun and good vibes. And welcome to one and all. Our artist, well, there's Vaughn Anselin. So he says, our artist in residence, Vaughn Anselin, has been hard at work. And he says, this is what you will see when you step off the water taxi at Awali. It's now lit at night. So there's a sign that says, Nevis Culturama anniversary, and it's 50 and it's lit up.
So is that Twitter or
No, Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Hi,
So
call go right ahead. Have a call. Call go right ahead.
Yes, good morning, thanks you.
Morning, Jamda.
Island tea. I sip in the ganja tea.
Jam.
In the party.
So you.
Island tea.
Yes.
I've been to the Carty home last week Thursday. And I went to see my sister. And when I get there, I see some of the, the sick people inside. They can't come outside to get a little breeze. Because we all who can move around know that how hot the place be. If you're feeling in your house at home, you ain't got no air condition, you ain't got a fan, it's terrible. I'm watching all people who serve this country down there with fans, but no outlet. I'm calling on Dr. Joe to go down there and correct that situation. Because I'm not going to come out for it, You are moving like I don't care. I understand that people who are in charge been asking to get these things done since they tell us about these hot weathers. The money ain't just wanting to travel in our borders. And if that's the way you're going, it's going to be sweet for you. Have a good day. This is Jam Down.
Thank you, Jam Down.
Thank you for your contribution. So, as I indicated, that in the U.S. there is the November election that persons are looking at, persons are making comments. The first debate has passed. Persons saying, Trump has made various false claims. Persons talking about the debate performance of President Biden, and persons wondering whether or not he's best suited based on the performance at the debate to lead the country for another 4 years. Of course, we've seen where Democrats have taken to the airways in support of the president, claiming his track record over the last, over the last term, and indicating that they are sticking with him based on the performance that they have seen throughout the years. And basically, even Obama weighing in on the debate, saying, there are times we have, bad days and bad debates. One bad debate doesn't really, and persons speaking about that. So, we have, so we have that happening in the US. Of course, in the UK, we have elections, they have elections,
almost,
July 4th. Sunak versus
actually.
Starmer, and based on the polls, based on everything that is being said, it seems as though the Conservatives are going in for really not a good time for them in terms of what the outcome would be. Persons are predicting that the Labour Party in England is going to get a very, what do you call it, big win, super majority. So.
The other thing I read last week was, actually I need to go back and read the article because I saw the headline. Apparently, Keir Starmer and King Charles, they're sort of like
family?
kindred souls, like they apparently they see things very similarly politically. So I'm gonna have to go back and read that. So I remember seeing that. So they were saying that that's gonna make it interesting. And then King Charles has always, as Prince Charles, has always been very kind of, he's kind of ruffled feathers because of the way he tends to. The king is supposed to be neutral politically.
But he has had.
He's always been kind of outspoken.
Yes, he has shared his opinions on a number of things.
And a little less than passive politically.
Yes,
as a monarch.
Unlike his mother, who was very neutral and kept out. Only during the times I know when Margaret Thatcher was there was some sort of little scuffle between them.
Every time I hear Margaret Thatcher, all I think about is milk. It's funny.
Milk snatcher.
Milk snatcher. That's all I think about is actually milk.
Yeah, look how election terms and phrases even back then could stick with you even years after.
But then we have to talk about what's going on in France when we come back in terms of election.
That's
we have
interesting.
The lovely
officing. So we're gonna go get a quick
her
word.
Fancy hairstyle.
We'll take a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Fresh from the LONS family tree in 1990.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Be careful on the road.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road.
8:37, and of course, Traffic Talk is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance.
So we have Officer Sophie Sergeant Henry in studio.
Somebody was just asking, are the officers coming today?
They're waiting, especially after music festival.
Yeah, apparently she was at the door, and I thought
she was
upstairs.
Sorry. She was at the door this month. Okay, yes. And
sorry, Sophie.
We apologize.
I guess Jamsa was just trying to, delay the time in which you will come on here because we expected calls coming, and he was just trying to protect
sometimes
you.
Sometimes it doesn't work too.
No, I'm just joking, man. I'm joking.
I even sent you a WhatsApp, tell you I'm outside.
Oh, good. Yes, jam him. Jam him, Sophie.
Oh boy!
Let me check and see.
Oh boy! So you see?
Let me see.
What?
Oh yes, she said I'm
what
outside.
What do they say when you dig a hole for yourself?
Okay, Sophie, remember to give me a number before you leave, then, right? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So how was it for Music Festival, Officer?
Music Festival, it was okay, a little challenging, but it was okay.
Yes.
Thank God we had no accidents, none.
Oh, good.
Good stuff.
To report.
Yeah.
I don't know if the other, maybe outer, like the countryside had it after, but for traffic, we had none during that time.
Okay.
That's
after.
good.
Good stuff.
And traffic signs. Every person driving or propelling any vehicle shall conform to the indication given by any traffic sign. Yes. Persons are saying that when they came to the music festival, there were no signs there, no cone, nothing. As I stated on this show on last week, Monday, and on Wednesday on ZIZ, that signs or the cones will be placed midnight on Wednesday evening. And they went down because the Thursday morning, about after 6, I drove around the venue and I placed them where I wanted them, although they were there. I placed the cones. They had cones on the top of East Park Range from the Bastia High School down to Luzak Road. That's on the western side. On the eastern side, it was from the empty lot before you meet NHC down to Park Range, Luzak Road. On the road directly behind NHC, there were signs on the southern side of that road, because on the other side, which is the mountain side, there is a yellow line. On Park Range, on Luzak Road, it was from East Park Range to Hart Street, as I said. On the seaside, and that was for VIP. On Victoria Road, both sides of that road were coned off. The no entry signs was put in place at 6 o'clock. Lo and behold, people are saying that there were no cones, and I know they were there. After the music festival, the Thursday, the first night, which was the Friday morning, we placed the cones. We put them back in position, especially on Luzak Road. So the cones was there. The first night, we towed 2 vehicles. I was like, okay, people understand what I was saying, because at least only 2 vehicles were towed. On the second night, it was 10 vehicles. And on the last night, it was 10. And persons think it best to park on the mountain side of Luzak Road. That's on this side with the park. And persons park on this side also. We parked, the VIPs were supposed to park, and they didn't have any passes. So we had to tow the vehicles.
Oh boy.
Yes. And then somebody gonna call and said, oh, we're in the lot to find it with towing of vehicle. And Vehicles and Road Traffic Act 15.06, Regulation 46, impounding of vehicles. The licensed authority may, where a vehicle is parked illegally. And if I come out and I said no parking should be here, you park illegally. Because we also had box signs saying no parking by the cones. Or in a manner obstructing the free flow of traffic, cause such vehicle to be towed from the area in question and impounded. And that's what we did for 3 nights. We towed the vehicle and they were impounded. Where a vehicle is towed and impounded pursuant to subregulation 1, the licensed authority shall only release the vehicle to the owner or agent of the owner of the vehicle upon payment of the requisite towing fee. So after the fee is paid, then you receive your vehicle. Yes. So we get our authority from the regulation 15.06, chapter 46.
So those vehicles, have persons already collected all of the vehicles?
I can't say all, but I know most of them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So when person are arguing, saying, oh, we towed the vehicle without anything, signs were there. I came on the radio, as I said, and I started it from the week before. That's the Thursday on Policing with You. So it was said on ZIZ twice, and it was said on Win FM. And it was also on the Facebook page of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, and also on the Music Festival website. So it was shared all over.
Well, you guys didn't have a bad night the first one?
No, so I was saying, okay, you're going to be at the same time, all the nights.
All the nights.
But then people feel they want to park where they want to.
Maybe after the first night, they probably say, okay, then everything seems smooth, not seeing the pictures
Nobody's
or the thing.
watching.
Yes. Maybe that could have been.
And where they had parking for the patrons, it was a lot of space.
That's the
That was
best.
Bastia High
Yes,
School.
it was a lot. Because I think the
Why do you
first
think
night,
people were reluctant to go in there though, or they just wanted to disobey the rules?
some people just want to park
Where
close
they
to
want
the
to
Close,
park?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I find our people, we like to park very
We want to
close
do
to
whatever
where,
we want to do.
very close to where we're going.
Yes.
We like to park very
We don't
close.
wanna walk.
We like to
True.
park very close where we're going.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And when you go overseas, you have to park miles away.
I never understand how we obey other person's laws, but we refuse to obey ours. And when we get in trouble, we want to beat the person that said, or the person that gave us advice. So they gave us a chance to follow the law, but we still disobeyed.
I think the first night, I think it had about 500 and something up in Basti High School.
Ooh.
And it could have hold a lot. It could have hold.
And it wasn't filled?
No.
That's what she's saying.
Because it had zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, I think.
They were parking attendants?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
There were people up there parking vehicles. As I said, and your vehicle will be supervised. Someone will be up there. He had adequate lighting. Yes, he had attendants up there.
So you had protection of your vehicle.
Yes.
So what else do you want? You mean?
They prefer to
park
pay
close to you.
the towing fee.
The towing fee and the ticket fee, right? Because they did get.
Well, we didn't get to give ticket that night.
Okay, just a towing fee.
Tow the vehicles,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Yeah, so.
There's a question I want to ask. You said that there were no accidents as far as you know, but then when you have accidents, do you guys take a note of whether the accident is related to alcohol consumption? Or?
Sure.
So you didn't have any?
We didn't have any
Wow.
for that. No, for the 3 nights, none.
That's very good. Kudos.
We had earlier in the
to the
day, like
patrons.
5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, but
Really?
not, yes.
Not after.
No.
Okay.
So it's like, so we can hold our drink then? Is it that, or is it
Or
that?
maybe we had responsible
Maybe we had
designated
designated drivers.
Okay. All right, that's good.
And that is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Guess in this case, Azard will be designating a driver because he's a milk drinker. Right?
I'm always the person who takes responsibility most times. Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
The most responsible people are the people who pound back whiskey after whiskey.
Oh no, nothing. No.
And I think they say White Sand, I think they just have 2 hours cool down. I think that's what I heard.
Okay.
So 2 hours after, I think they stop.
Okay.
Beverage, so you get time to.
But do they still do the shuttle thing?
Yes.
down
Yes.
by
Yeah,
the
that's why
If
they
you
were
saw the
parking on the
number
lawn.
of vehicles over there, yeah.
Because I drove over that side, and the lawn was full of vehicles. Over on the opposite side by the golf course, he had vehicles. Went over Peninsula, and when you look down by the venue,
yes.
Wow.
vehicles.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think White Sand was poised to be the bigger than the music festival.
Yeah,
I honestly felt that.
that
way.
was a lot of vehicles that I
Yes.
saw, and it looked really crowded based on the pictures that I've seen.
I've
You
yet
wanna
to
take
see
the call?
pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call or go right ahead for traffic talk. You sound very soft.
We can't hear you.
That's Jam Down?
Yeah, good morning,
Okay.
traffic department.
Yeah,
Can
Jam
you
Down.
hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sophia,
Yes, damn
I've
them.
been looking at some vicious, nasty act. Boys, a gang of young little boys doing it. I see it many places around Bastille. When the traffic put signs for wherever, cones, wherever. These little boys go out at night time and look at the cones, put the cones blocking the traffic. Sometimes they put big stone, all kind of thing in the road. Sophia, when you all encounter these things, lock them up. Let the parents deal with that. It been, I see the cones them up there. You all put them out. They had them from up by the high school, block off the whole foot. Come down by the park gate, block off there. Down by Eddie, block off there. It's a real product, and I'm not even to because me don't follow you. I don't want you to know. As a lot of me saying to them, unborn. Unborn.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Yes, I know the people usually, because I think some time ago we put some cones. I don't remember what was happening by the park, and he had a container. No, he had Amri truck there. And when you look in the morning, 2 of them up on the truck. So you have to be some idle hand.
You mean put the cones up on?
They throw the cones on top of the truck. Yes.
So Jam don't know what he's speaking
Yes.
about. Who does that?
The first night after the music festival in the morning, when I going across Lozak Road, they had one right in the center of the road. Yes. So people, they move them. And they're going to move them to park, and they say, oh, when I came, nothing was there. Yes.
And they wouldn't dare do that, say, in the U.S.
or
Canada.
We do what we want here.
And when you have to get down on them, oh, the police wicked, and, these things you're hearing. But abide by the law.
Yeah.
If there was no law, the place would be lawless. And that's how they want it to be. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys install temporary lights on the BHS grounds, or just...
They had lights up there, temporary.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because, on the field, he had like 3 over there. And I see 6 for sure. And other places, yeah. But they had lights.
Okay.
Even before the building was erected, they had music.
Yeah.
Right, they had lights up there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I was wondering if that, I know they would have had lights from before, but I was wondering if you guys had put up any more. Okay. But that's good, because that's a pretty huge parking resource,
And with no buildings,
and with no buildings,
much more space they have.
And she's saying 500 cars and still have
space. That was only the first night.
That's crazy. Wow.
And then vehicles were parked around town, so.
Yes. Wow. That's good.
Yeah. So incident free in terms of no vehicular accidents during the time of the music festival, or even directly after, you're saying?
Yep.
The only issue was the parking.
Yes, as usual.
Okay. I mean, considering the number of vehicles too that were parked correctly, I still think it's a win, because you had a lot of other persons who parked as they are. Yes.
The odd ones.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, so we can say we had a good music fest. I don't know from the music festival end, but from the traffic end, we had an incident free. Yes.
Yeah, see, Sergeant Henry is smiling. Yes.
And I think it's good to know that this far on from those days when you remember those days when we'd have events, and even down Fort Thomas Music Festival, and people go by the cars and tires are slashed and all that crazy stuff. So it's good to know that we haven't had any reports of any. Yeah. So that's good.
I don't know if, but from our end, no. I know even something with people park in the youth and community. Yeah, people will slash the tires up there too.
It had incidents where persons parked there, not for music fest, but for other activities, and vehicles broken in and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's good. Good to know that.
We had patrols. We had patrols round.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I always think people put on the vehicle thinking that it's safe, and then you just come and you meet different things.
I mean, like get a life, right?
Yeah, I mean, and the expense.
Yeah. And because the expense is not incurred to the person committing the offense, it doesn't.
All they're thinking is to get something from in the vehicle. You mash up a
or
glass.
Or just to make the person have spent some extra money. Yeah.
Mash up a glass. It takes, thousands. The tires. Oh gosh, it's just an unnecessary expense you put on somebody.
Yeah, because when I used to work at St. Peter's at Monk Hill, you used to have this person just coming and just breaking people glass. Things in there what they could take out to sell. But it's just money they was looking for.
Yeah.
So you can break the glass, go in the money in there.
Crazy. And not realizing what their actions do to others.
And the expense they put them in.
Yes.
Yep, that's what I said.
And let's jump to talk about the music festival up Fort Thomas. That's been a while. Yeah, during that time, I was still in high school, and so that's been a while.
That was 1997.
Yes.
When they slashed the tires.
I mean the first.
Yeah, the first one up there. Yeah.
96 actually.
96. Yeah.
Yeah,
96.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, well, 96 round.
Yeah, sometime around that, yeah.
Yeah, the Shack. It was a music fest.
Remember a performance by...
But they use both names. Shack Music Festival, St. Kitts Music Festival. Which I always think they should have held on to that.
Shack.
I actually
remember
really
the little man used to be shaking the things
the
that
stick
we used
man,
to, we used to play with as kids.
From the flamboyantry.
One performance I remember at Fort Thomas was Wycliffe when he came that year over by Fort Thomas, and I think he was the last person, but he did a really good job in terms of the crowd and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember DMX is Genuine. Listen, music festival.
Wycliffe was like the, I would say at that time, he was like the, in terms of coming here, the frequency of coming here, he was like the hip hop Beryl Hammond, because you remember that period when Beryl Hammond was pretty much a Kitty
Yeah, I see.
And Wycliffe was like that for a while. It's like they'd bring him for election campaigns and, and stuff.
But I'm glad the music festival went over well. I'm glad the artists and the patrons enjoyed it. And I'm glad that it was uneventful, especially for a good officer right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, officer, anything to leave with the listening public before we...
Yes. The traffic signs. Okay. Every person driving or propelling any vehicle shall conform to the indication given by any traffic sign. Remember, traffic sign can be a road marking, it can be something erected, or it could be a temporary signage that is placed in an area. Remember, always abide by those laws of the Federation. If you abide by it, you won't have to go to court to be tried by a magistrate. So once you adhere to these laws, as a might get job. Might, you know what I'm saying? Once they abide by them, they will have to seek legal advice.
Yes.
So I just want to thank each and everyone for adhering to the rules, those who adhere to it, and even those who didn't.
Yes.
But still, we're going to have some who can always be against.
Yeah. No matter what you do, they're going to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Persons, yeah. Just how life is. Yeah. So, a wonderful morning to you, Sergeant Henry, as we affectionately call, Sophia. Yes. And we're going to take a short break and get back.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Your Horseman's Value Mart IGA special.
Running June 27th to July 10th.
Now our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Kraft mayonnaise, just $24.99. Post cereals, cocoa, fruity pebbles, Oreo, honeycombs, $12.99. Your Play yogurt, $3.55. Essential everyday sliced cheeses, just $8.99. Fabuloso disinfectant, $18.99. Pure bath tissue, double roll, $20.99. And now our very low weekly
value deals. Mueller's pasta, $5.99. IGN Essential Everyday Salad Dressing, $10.99. IGN Essential Everyday Cornflakes, $9.99. VO5 Shampoo and Conditioner, $5.49. Hamad Deodorant, $8.99. Extra Liquid Laundry Detergent, $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
And
we are back, and as you know, we've been discussing a number of matters. We've been talking about the hurricane that is in the Caribbean, within a region that is, affecting our Caribbean brothers and sisters. We spoke about traffic talk. We talk about the music festival and the parking and some persons' vehicles being towed. We spoke also about the presidential elections, in the U.S. The U.S. whereby the persons are talking, and that's how it is. It's going to be hot. Persons are going to give their views on various matters, and so we expect that. We also know in the U.K. we have Richie Sunak and we have Starmer, and it is being said that the Labour Party in the UK is predicted to win a huge majority. They're saying that the performance of the Conservative would be at an all-time low, one of the worst in recent times. They're in fact trying to make comparisons of a performance as bad, using even like a century ago. So it is going to be telling whether or not what is forecast is the reality. And July 4th, we will know. I'm listening to some of the debates between Starmer and Sunak, and based on some of the comments, persons are saying, well, Sunak was very aggressive in his debate, talking about...
Oh, they had debates? I didn't know.
Yeah, Starmer and Sunak, and Sunak was very aggressive in his fact that, he's saying, do not surrender to them. And persons who listened to that debate made reference of the word surrender, as if it's a war, as if they're going to battle, and you can keep using surrender. And I think, of course, he used it in a strategic way as well. He spoke about the fact that, the Conservative have a plan, and on the flip side, he's saying, what is the plan that the Labour Party has, We have a plan. We could tell you what we are going to do. What are you going to do? And it seems as though it is, when you listen to some of the media houses and how they make commentary, it seems as though it's not a situation that in the UK that the Labour Party is so good as is more like the Conservatives have had issues, and based on those issues, and of course some level of instability, because if you look at the fact that they've had, since they are 14 years in office, a number of prime ministers.
The change.
Yeah.
Constant.
And even during the last, was it 2 years, we've seen since then, let's say the 14 years that they've been, we had David Cameron, then we had Theresa May, we had Boris Johnson, we had Liz Truss, we had Richie Sunak.
I think that's it for now.
Yeah, so they've had changes in leadership, and a lot of persons are saying that during the period that Liz Truss was prime minister, that is where things got in the worst. And she was prime minister for 45 days. Yeah.
She was like, not me, no more gray hair.
Yeah, and a lot of, I guess, remember the Brexit, they had the whole discussion over Brexit, the effects now of Brexit is weighing down on them. They're trying to fight for the economy, saying that the economy is on a good path now, in saying that there's some level of trajectory that says that it's going to be on a good level. But then you look at, and a lot of the issues are economy, immigration, those sort of things. Of course, the rising cost of living. So we have a caller.
Caller, go right ahead.
Yes. Good day to everybody. Greetings in Jesus' name.
Hi, good day, Gregory.
Yes. Good day to everybody. Yes. First of all, I would like to say it does not matter, be it in America with Biden and Trump, or be it in England.
You're going to say that it doesn't matter what we do once you're not following the directions of the Bible.
Well, I think you should let Greg speak.
Okay, go ahead, Gregory.
No, it's okay. I hope at least he's getting what I'm saying.
Greg, I was trying to save you. I was letting you say yourself.
Greg, so that's...
It's like I'm on the stage and I'm putting my mic for the crowd to sing the rest of the
Yes.
song.
Okay, all right.
Your message has been so consistent that we know that what you're going to say.
Right. And I love to be consistent. I hate inconsistency.
Yes.
Yes, and all of them are biblically disqualified. Just like Cain, Singis, and Abel. You know? So it doesn't really matter who wins. We all going down the drain.
Oh boy.
No. Considering the music festival issue, like I've always said, biblically speaking, these things are not for government. These things are for the private sector to do. And these entertainment activities, for example, are among the many factors why the cost of living is so high and will continue to go high, because government have to put themselves in expense to unnecessary expense to pull off these things, and these unnecessary expense ultimately the people have to foot the bill sooner or later in higher taxes. And that is one of the these are among the reasons why government enter into all kind of unsavory friendship with all kind of unsavory people to get the money to pull off all of these things. And in the end, we are just going down the road of destruction and ruin. And until we start to do things according to the Bible, we will only totally destroy ourselves under the punishment and judgment of God.
Okay.
So let us repent individually and as a nation and as a people, and start to obey the word of God if we want to be enjoying the blessings of Jesus Christ and his prosperity.
Okay, thank you
Other
so
than that, it's just curses upon us.
Thank you for your contribution, Gregory.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Okay, so as I indicated, so it's going to be very interesting. We had, the UK have had the Conservative over the last 14 years, I think, really had some sort of, it's not been easy.
My cousin lives in England, and I asked the question. I said, do you think Mr. Sunak will win the election? She said no. And she LOL'd. She also said he already lost seats in key areas via local elections.
Yeah, and
So
based
he's
on
not
the
gonna
polls, it's not looking very good for them. Yes. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Miss Henry, how are you? It's been a while.
Well, my family, Greg beat me to it.
Okay.
At least you all can say Greg don't want you.
Yes, it's true.
We have to ask what is in it for the what is in it for us,
Yes.
the Federation. All this squabble in America. Everybody, all of them is America for us, you know? And the rest of us drop in. Now, what I call about is something that concerns me. I had on my radio, on our local radio station, the national one,
Yes.
and I heard this advertisement of occultic services. Some swami over Friggy Bay. You heard it, right?
No. You should see my face, because this is the first time I'm hearing about
Have
that.
you heard it?
No.
No, Miss Henry.
What did you?
No,
You could
say...
get back your you could get back your boyfriend if anybody will
What?
come behind you.
I've seen...
An advertisement.
On what? On
the radio,
on the
you said,
radio?
Miss Henry? She said on the national
The
station.
radio.
Oh, boy.
Offering what I consider to be occultic services. Some swami, somebody.
I've seen that advertised on the Facebook.
Wow.
But I've
On the
never...
radio.
Oh, wow.
One of the radio stations. I said, what is this? We are already far from God.
Oh, wow.
And then you have this alliance with the LGBTQ, whatever. Being announced on the radio too. So when did we sign into that?
What?
Yeah, because last month was Pride Month.
Yeah,
Hello?
but what was announced on
Called
the radio?
Alliance for something, but I don't remember the last part.
I think you referred to the SKN Alliance.
Yeah, I said, what is...
She said the LGBTQ.
Yeah, the LB. We go LB what?
LBGT.
Whatever the big God have mercy on them.
Yeah.
I said we already have murder.
Mm-hmm.
We got blood all over our street.
Mm-hmm.
Now this SKN Alliance coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is this gentleman.
The Swami.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Before we go see God. But you see, when the farther we move away, we have people that come on. Oh, they ain't gonna God. God is a murderer, and we opening up ourselves to all of these things.
Well, I mean,
wait. You just let the hurricane turn in our direction. You see which God they go to.
I mean, there are persons, as really, there are persons who are atheists, persons who don't believe in
I
God.
understand they're free to be atheists.
And at the end of the day, that's their conviction. That's their personal
yeah, the Bible
belief.
said choose, you know.
And so
the Bible never commands us.
I don't think it's up to us to judge those persons. You understand? Judgment does not lie within.
The word judge is a wrong thing. You say warn them.
Okay, so I guess yes. I guess
warn them.
yes. But at the end of the day, I mean, everyone.
Well, yeah, everybody when the lineup starts, when the final lineup starts, you go answer for yourself.
Yes,
But when we say that we are a nation under God, that is in the Constitution, eh? Now, which God are we under? Because these things are not promoted or condoned by the God we say we serve. We had a little joke, you know. I remember when I was growing up, there are certain places you got to go and get your water, your protection, you this, you that, you that. I mean, publicly advertise, then they advertise in strip club. Well, from the time we start to put on take off the ladies' clothes on the road for carnival, that is it. There's a strip club, you know, free. Then we turn around and say, oh, what happened to the young people? It is us, the older ones, who are misleading the young people, leading them astray. The things we say, the things we do, the things we tolerate. So I was surprised that maybe the churches, them, they don't hear that. And then Gregory hate, because maybe Gregory might say nothing wrong with it. Really? All kind of services you could get, you know.
No, I think Greg might say something's wrong with that because it's not of God. So I really
That's
think.
what I'm saying, and we say that we are a nation under God.
Yep.
So I want to know if everybody that choose that God when it comes to the nation we under, the God we under.
Well, to me,
we got to stand for something, you know.
We'll fall for anything.
When it comes to those spells and everything like that, we have, free will. Yeah. And to me, that's an interference of, if it is, persons who believe in that and stuff like that. It'll be an interference of free will.
Yeah, of the person's free will. And when you do that, it bounces back on you eventually tenfold worse.
Yep. While it may be your free will, right? All of us will have to bear the consequences.
Oh, boy.
If the consequences were personalized, you understand what I'm saying?
Now, I thought I'm referring to when there's spells and stuff like that, then it's interference with.
Yeah, but I am telling you again, consequences are borne by the whole nation. Look at all this killing what's going on. When we bad minding and threatening one another, the young people learn, and all of us grieve. So when we there quietly watching, because they're pushing this thing in Africa, all the gays want to this and they want to that, and they boycott the people country, affecting their economy. Everybody's suffering because they want their way. Well, instead they want them taken their way. Whether you like it or not. Because in Romans 1, Greg's scripture, he said God has given them up, Let them do what they want to do and suffer the consequence. Now, you say that, they're going to say, oh, my son, we're heartless. It's in the Bible. After you know to do good and you don't do it,
you're in trouble.
Then you bear the consequence. But it also affects other people. So this advertisement of occult services is demonic. Whether you want to call it, is pure demonic.
So, Miss Henry.
You say, oh, we have one nation under God. And it starts from the head.
Okay. All right.
All right then.
Okay.
So, by the way, I was listening to Barbados this morning, right?
Yes.
My daughter's up there. A lot of they didn't get the hurricane.
No, they didn't. They just getting
And
winds.
they say it passed about 20 to 30 miles to the south, so it changes course.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they say Grenada might get a blunt.
Oh gosh.
Lights off, water off, and they're advised to stay indoors all day today in Barbados.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your contribution, Miss Henry.
Thank you, Miss Henry.
So I'm seeing here it says that Hurricane Beryl upgraded to Category 4 hurricane
It's
again.
back in 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really.
As somebody says, trying to get to 5. I hope it doesn't, because if it goes up that way and it continues to Jamaica and Mexico and those places, we know what happens with those types of hurricanes.
And in France as well, France is experiencing their election. We talk about the US, we talk about England or the UK. France also is experiencing election whereby they have had to go back to the polls. I think they're going back to the polls on July 7 because they've had the first set of legislative elections. I think it was sometime just a few days ago, but there was no absolute majority. In fact, how they do it is that if it is that you don't get the 50% right away in the areas for the seats, you go back again. And so what happens in the second time, usually those persons who place third or whatnot might have allegiance with other parties, to ensure that there's a different outcome. Some persons might drop out. Some persons might, as I said before, join allegiance with another party just to ensure that there's a particular outcome. So the second round is going to be very interesting. The president will remain the same because it's not an election for the president, but for the lower house. And so what could happen is a fact where you have the president of one party and the prime minister of another party. And so what they call it is a cohabitation house, whereby the president has certain powers and the prime minister has certain powers. If you look at it in France, it's a bit different to what we do here, whereby the roles of the prime minister and the roles of the president, of course, they're different. Whereby I think the president has oversight over, I think, national security and I think foreign policy, if I'm not mistaken.
But I don't see what's all the
Whereas the prime minister has a day-to-day running of, domestic affairs and stuff like that.
But people, because it says shops are boarded up amid fears of left-wing riots as far right wins first round of French election. And they don't seem like they want that particular lady to be in charge. They're destroying their country. I don't understand how persons think. I understand standing up, marching for what you believe in, but when it comes to destroying your country, and especially what Paris and stands for, why are you gonna do that? So what happens to tourism? Are you thinking about the effects it's going to have on your country? And in terms, the tourism market brings jobs, and I mean, over there, it's big. So I really don't understand why
this article says, it says French voters face a decisive choice on July 7th in a round-off of a snap parliamentary elections that could see the country's first far-right government since World War II, on no majority emerging at all. Official results suggest that Marine Le Pen's anti-immigration nationalist party, National Rally, stands a good chance of winning a majority in the lower house of Parliament for the first time, but the outcome remains uncertain amid the complex voting system and political tactics. So yeah, in France, it seems like it's way different to what we do here, in the sense that, there's a runoff. From the runoff, as I said before, you look and you see if you don't get the full 50%, you have to go back again. And then you have strategies between persons and parties to ensure a particular outcome in the second time. So far, there's over 500 seats to be won. And there needs to be, I think, a total of 286 seats by any party to gain the majority. And so far, in confirming seats, we have one party has 38 so far, another party has 34, one has 2, and one has 1. And I think from my understanding, the current president's party only has 2 so far. So they are trailing in third in terms of seat counts, and in terms of, much of the percentage, they're trailing in third right now. And so is his party going to align themselves with another party? How is it going to plan out when it comes to July 2nd? Again, it's not a race for the president, so the president would remain, but the law house, would have some changes to it. So it's going to be a very, cooperation would be needed. It's going to be very interesting. I guess we could think about it when you have, in the U.S., when you have the House being a certain way and the president being a certain of a certain party. The challenges that could come.
But do you see they categorize the far right as the Nazis?
They have this term, and again, I feel like it's those terminologies are very ancient in the sense that and persons in the media.
But what have they done to garner such characteristics? Because we know when we hear those words, we know that's not anything good.
Yeah.
So
and then why I say that too, when you look at younger voters and persons, they're not really associating themselves with those kind of terminologies and stuff like that. I mean, that's a history that even persons are breaking away from,
But they seem to be, how should I say, they seem to be aware of it. That's why they don't want that particular person or party or whatever it is to win.
And when they talk about far-right politics or right-wing extremism, it's a spectrum of political thought that tends to be radically conservative, ultra-nationalist, and authoritarian, often also including nativist tendencies. So basically, when you look at the far left, it's a whole different meaning. When you look at far left, its positions are more radical, strongly rejecting capitalism and mainstream representative democracy. Okay, so we have a call. We have calls coming in. We're going to allow the calls and hear what persons have to say.
Okay, calls. I didn't disappear. Just we have some guests coming up at 9:30, so we're gonna be okay. Island T, go right ahead. Boy. Island T, go right ahead. Another one.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Macron.
Yes, I'd just like to assure Mrs. Henry and others who are afraid of the same thing that if the pendulum swings too far, it will swing back. There will be a backlash, so to speak. So I think we, as long as we remain a democracy, I think eventually the standards would find itself. And like I said, if it goes too far, one way or the other, it goes back. What I'd be more concerned about is those elections that you're talking about, like in France, in Europe, in the States, and other places. Because what you're actually seeing with the resurgence of the right, conservative right, is something that when you get that kind of extreme polarization, it leads to conflict, it leads to wars. You realize there was about a 40-year break between World War I and World War II, and some may say probably we're probably overdue for another world war.
Let's hope that peace
Yeah,
abounds. Let's hope, But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, this time,
yes,
the stakes are so high because most likely it would end up in a nuclear war. And that is why when we have conflicts like what we see in the Middle East and in Ukraine,
yes,
we should be very careful because they can easily escalate, right? I mean, it's very difficult for a nation who possess nuclear weapons. If they see that they're losing, of course they're going to use any means possible to effect victory. Okay, so that is, I think, is what we have to look for. And interestingly enough, I heard a commentary which basically said that what we're seeing now is the West, most of Europe and North America, basically taking up, what shall we say, positions against what they regard as another axis which consists of the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea, Iran, I think they included, okay? And basically saying it's a fight of liberal democracies against illiberal authoritarian rule. That is how they basically position it. And we have to choose, okay? And they admit that the Western democracies are not perfect. They admit that they are hypocritical sometimes and all of that. But they said that the rest of the world, if they had to choose, would choose them as opposed to the authoritarian countries. And I tend to agree because the thing about liberal democracies, at least you have a chance to course correct. And they censure themselves, at least, with authoritarian countries, usually dictatorships. You don't have any such opportunity. And it usually just takes a bloody revolution or coup to actually change course. So if that person is correct, then the choice will have to be ours as well. And I have no hesitation in thinking that we're going to choose, I think, the West thinking. We tend to go that way, despite our experience in colonialism and all of that, and imperialism and so on. I think we're now at a place where if we had to choose between a dictatorship and a democracy with all its inconsistencies and so on, and discrimination and all of that, I still think we'll probably choose the democracy. At least I hope we would. But it's going to be what's being set up. I think is an interesting fight between conservatives and the liberals, and it's going to be interesting to see which one wins out. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
It's going to be interesting to see, as you say. Thank you for your contribution. And as we see these elections happening, and this year it seemed to be a very hot election year for many countries across the world, and I think even in South Africa just recently, I think there was some elections, whereby we had a president that joined a new party, a former, I think, president or leader that joined a new party and then became successful for the first time. So we could look at that situation too as we go along. That has passed, but we could look back and even give some reference to that. But this year has seemed to be very, very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting, especially a couple of days with the UK, a couple of months with the US. Yeah. We have one more minute before we go on to our guests. We have next in studio, we're going to have Dr. Arthur Martin. And so we're going to prepare, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to welcome him as we have a little interview talking about sustainable development, sustainable practices. Oh.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices, Rams is always here. We want your loyalty, Rams is always here. We are community, we are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Here a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
And we've got two very special guests. AZ, take it away.
Yes, good morning. I just want us to, someone just mentioned on the Facebook page that St. Martin tomorrow has the nomination. They have the election for they have elections on August 19th. And so we know about that situation where they call it the 2x4 government that, collapsed. So persons could look into St. Martin and look at what's going on. Here this morning, as I said before, we have Dr. Arthur Winston Martin, and he has a guest as well. He's going to introduce his guest, but we want to thank him for taking the time out to come this morning. We're going to be talking about sustainable development, sustainable practices, and how they can drive economic development and growth. And so we have Dr. Arthur Winston Martin. He's a senior research and development executive with over 25 years of experience in driving sustainable growth in large technology markets. Currently, he holds the position of Vice President of R&D North America for Arkema. He is also responsible for leading Arkema's growth market in advanced materials. And Arthur has been awarded with the BEYA-MIRS Emerald Award for Research Leadership in February 2012, and has 22 U.S. patents granted and over 75 international patents. Wow. He holds a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the City College of New York, a master's degree in polymer science and engineering in NYU, and a PhD in material chemistry from NYU. Wow, he is accomplished, he is educated, and he is here to talk to us about sustainable development, sustainable practices, and how it can drive economic development.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Azard.
Yes.
I would say Mr. Gumbs.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be back here at Win FM. I'm no stranger to this forum and to this media. I've done voices before on many different topics, always to enrich this community with not just new ideas, but actionable concepts in terms of improving quality of life and economic development in such a wonderful place as in my country of birth.
Yes.
St. Kitts.
And we do welcome your contribution. In fact, it is often, and it's always, it is always good when you have nationals giving back to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so we welcome that and we appreciate that.
Thank you. And it would be remiss of me not to really thank all the people coming in for Music Festival, and I'm sure who had a splendid time over the last couple of days. And I think that is also a driver for economic development.
Definitely.
Bringing some revenue to the country.
And I like the topic this morning because we talk about often the CBI program, and the CBI has been one of the driving force for economic development here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We have seen what is happening. We have seen the news, and we are in a phase where we see that the CBI program has been under attacks, criticisms, and so we have to think as a country, what are other ways in which we could develop if it is that the CBI is no longer as profitable to our country as it has been before.
So you give it be a good segue into our topic for this morning.
Yes.
In speaking to sustainability, and sustainability not as a bumper sticker. You see so many conferences around the world, and it's a theme, but what are the consequences, and what are the actionable and executable ideas that we have that also not just the solutions that I want to provide this morning, but fixing the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
And as you say too, we talk about, and you've heard it spoken about a lot of times, the 2030 sustainable goals. You talk about sustainable island state. The government speaks about that very often now, about St. Kitts and Nevis being a sustainable island state. And so how can we actually put this whole sustainable practice into some sort of economic development whereby St. Kitts and Nevis can benefit from it?
So let's begin the conversation.
Yes, let's begin.
So here with me, I'm a collaborator. So
yes.
I brought with me a good friend, Jesse Heps, who is an HR leader, a background in chemistry, worked for DuPont like I did throughout our career. And he's really passionate about what St. Kitts has to offer. We work together in several areas on DEI and National Organization of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers, and getting our folks more involved in STEM and holding leadership position in corporate America, not just in the United States, but wherever they are globally, even if they were to come back to St. Kitts or other places in the Caribbean.
Yes.
So in beginning the topic, what I wanted to focus on, we don't have a great allotment of time here, so we'll have to use our time wisely. And maybe at some time we do another segment when I'm back.
Yes.
But I wanted to talk about the sustainable issues that we have globally. So overall, the Caribbean is about 1 million in land mass. And when you look at St. Kitts, we're about 68 square miles ownership of that land mass. And we do contribute to global warming, climate change, and therefore I think it's consequential for us to do our part, right? So I want to talk about how can we resolve the issue of the 30% contribution to greenhouse gases coming alone from over 30,000 vehicles on the island, right? And being having an appetite for fossil fuel like we do now, and when can we start the effort of decarbonization so that by 2050 we're on track, like every other place in the world who are leading in this effort, to become a zero emission federation. And so let's talk about where we are now and how much we actually emit. Carbon dioxide, 1 gallon, 8.8 grams. If you do all the conversion, yearly 4.5 metric tons for one car yearly, And for 30,000 cars that we own on this island, that converts to about 240,000 pounds of CO2 that is released. Well, hey, what are you going to say when you see the algae going wild? Do you think this is some kind of magic that's taking place? It's because of climate change. Algae loves carbon dioxide. So the more carbon dioxide they get, the more they grow. Now, we have to turn, this is the first time in human nature that we are faced with a problem where we have done so much to the planet that we have to reverse it. In every revolution, whether it's the Industrial Revolution, the Biotech Revolution, the communication internet revolution, AI revolution, we improved quality of lives. We provided economic growth because we saw not necessarily a problem to solve, but we seized an opportunity to improve lives. Here, it's a different situation. We have damaged our own godly planet. And now it's time for us to repair it. And there's hydrogen fuel, right? So 55 kilogram of hydrogen fuel can give you up to 500 to 700 miles, right? Now all the diesel trucks, the forklifts, right? St. Kitts is not too small for any big idea. I want to make that absolutely clear, right? What separates us from using any type of technology out there? As a matter of fact, I would argue that we are well positioned in the fact that we still have some bandwidth to grow, right? We're not overrun. We're slightly underpopulated, some would argue underpopulated. We have beautiful landscape. We still have a lot of natural resources, as in sunshine and water, which we can get, by the way, through wastewater treatment, that we can recover, that would allow us to build the infrastructure in energy and water. Those two are essential. I'm a chemical engineer. Those two are essential for anything to happen. I want to make it clear. Any discussions about any of this topic is not worthwhile unless we invest. However we invest, whether it's the public sector, whether it's the private sector, whether it's the government, come together just like everyone else is doing and collaborate globally. You do not have the economic prowess to do it alone. Every country is collaborating. So we have to collaborate. I'll let Jesse jump in for a little bit, and then Azard, I would like you to hear
no problem.
Arthur, thank you so much, and Mr. Gumbs, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be here. Just quickly, I came in May. For a celebration of a friend's birthday, I fell in love with St. Kitts, and Arthur is from St. Kitts, and so I was telling him, I've got to go back. There's something that happened in my heart in St. Kitts that I have to go back. And so it's an honor to be here with all of you. When I came, I told Arthur, I said, I saw something that I don't think I've seen in many places that I've visited. I saw a potential that exists. As a scientist, I understand from an experimental standpoint that you don't start out with big, grandiose experiments. You start out with small pilots, and then you scale to that. And St. Kitts represents the potential for that. It's small enough that you could do these kind of really cutting-edge approaches to things like sustainability. For example, let's take the sun. You use about 100 to 150 gigawatts of power to power the island, everything that you do. But you have over 300,000 gigawatts of sunlight. That's 200 times what you need. So it doesn't mean that it's kind of like you've got the abundance, it's there, but we can't see it and figure out how to properly leverage that. But as we talked about, the technology, here's the other part. You don't have to invent the technology. It's available. It's collaboration, it's strategic, it's having a forefront. And so I told Arthur, I said, I don't know why, but I set out and kind of crafted a 25-year plan. What does St. Kitts look like in 2050? How would the generations live? And once you solve that energy issue, whether it's solar, whether it's hydrogen, that piece, then you begin to engage in what I call democratization, engaging your people. For example, you're limited on land mass. You may not be able to put up a lot of solar panels. But what if you took the 10 or 15% of the land mass, which are rooftops, and engage your citizens and let them help generate energy that they sell back to the grid? Just something as simple as that. And then you've got water. Not to mention the fact that the technology does exist. Since you're surrounded by water, you could set up barges with solar panels to collect solar energy. And you basically leverage the surface area of the sea to make up for what you don't have in landmass. I see St. Kitts, as I told Arthur. If I looked out, I see this island, this country, Nevis, as a global leader, that the world can come to study how it's done.
I often say too, as you say, we are uniquely placed, and we also have so many natural resources, and as you say, we have all that is needed out there to sustain us based on our population size, based on everything that we have. We could actually be a model for a lot of persons out there. We look at geothermal, and geothermal is something that the government has been talking about for some time, especially the NIA. It becoming a reality just yet has not been, and there are still talks towards that step. In the whole grand scheme of renewable energy, where do you see geothermal? Because we're talking about you talk about solar, you talk about hydro, but you have not mentioned yet geothermal, which actually is in discussion right now for St. Kitts and Nevis. So what are your thoughts on that?
So a good question. So for geothermal, I think it's the cost to benefit ratio, and I always encourage people to do the math, to do the financial analysis. So what do you do near term and what do you do long term? It's all about priorities. So I would look at geothermal because of the cost for investment as a medium to long term priority. And if I were to invest immediately, I would go directly to solar to start the engine of turning on the green economy in St. Kitts. So for instance, if you look at a solar panel, 1.5 kilowatts per hour, and a car takes about 0.36 kilowatts to run, right, per mile. When you do the conversion, if you were to put solar panels up and have a charging station, you don't need to wait on a grid, a well-developed grid, to start converting the 30% contribution to carbon emissions, to greenhouse emissions in the region, in the Caribbean, as a matter of fact, St. Kitts and the Caribbean, by using solar panel. It's 300 days out of 365 days we get sun, right? So we got to take advantage of that, the gift that nature has given us.
Right.
And so my point is, we can start now. The TVCs, the Horsfords, the other importers, 1,500 cars, used cars we import from Japan, Taiwan, other places, 500 new car sales that goes into all the companies that import brand new cars today. If we started now and let the cars that's already on the road within the next 5 to 10 years die by natural death, right, we would be eating through that 30% emissions. So to answer your questions, geothermal is a longer-term strategic imperative for solving other issues in diversifying the economy, such as, for example, light manufacturing. A company, he'll tell you that, Jesse will tell you, a company would never come here without water and energy.
Right.
The amount of energy that we use to run our chemical plants, our reactions, you don't have it. So forget about it. But if you came back to me 10 years with a geothermal plant, and I would set up my factory right beside it, Now, what can you do in the meanwhile? Your solar energy can run lighter R&D facilities. Like you already have a monkey farm. You could do biomedical research, whether on marijuana, on the algae plant, right? The algae plant, you can turn it into a food source and it could turn into a biodiesel, cosmetics. There's so many things in it. Yes. There are vitamins, carbohydrate, protein, lipids, biodiesel, everything. The technology is already there to extract oils or whatever you want from algae. All the sargassum that's washing up on the shore, you reverse the problem and turn it into an opportunity. Right. And then you could develop your own biogenetic engineered algae, not in the ocean, somewhere else, where you can drive consumerism through cosmetics, energy, etc. So there's the opportunities there. But I think what I'm saying, all of this being said, I don't expect a 68 square mile islands with a few millionaires and $1 billion in government budget to support all of that, which means that investor relationship is extremely important in driving that. So there's your geothermal answer. It's a medium to long-term strategy for the overall economic growth of the country in the next 5 to 15 years. Short term, you can start now. Mm-hmm. Whoever wants to lead, I don't care. Whether it's the government, whether it's a private external company, set up about 5 charging stations around the country. You need the infrastructure. Why would TDC Horsford, any of those importers, switch over from diesel fuel if you don't have the infrastructure? Someone has to lead. Right. Build the infrastructure. And we are, I don't know, when I left and up to a couple years ago, we were 90-something% literacy rate. We have an educated society, right? We are new in society. We like to debate, we like to argue, but at the end of the day, we'll do the right thing. What we have on our side is being highly literate and educated and intellectual. And debating is good. But when we are posed with the opportunity and we see the value, but somebody, Azard, has to lead.
Mm-hmm. I have 2 points just to add to that. On geothermal, that's going to be important to deal with what we call the spikes that happen with some of the other sustainable sources. So as Arthur said, it has to be a part of your strategic plan. You can't just do that or do just solar and wind and these others. You need to add that as a part. And the fact is you have the resources available to do that. So absolutely. The other part of this is when we look at, and I from an HR perspective, human capital perspective, you must have a learning culture. The fact that the culture engages and you have high literacy and there's questions and there's debate is healthy. Yes. Because the best ideas emerge. You never want to shut that down. In fact, there is a clear connection to a learning culture and innovation. A learning culture is a curious culture. A curious culture is an experimental culture. Experimental cultures result in creativity, which leads to inventions. But inventions alone are not innovations. Innovations are the things we pay for.
I've listened to you, and it's very interesting because as you speak about it, you speak about what we have naturally and how we could invest that and have a long-term plan to ensure that St. Nevis remains profitable, it remains relevant. And a lot of times when you have persons like in the science background, they don't have the room here for them to actually be PhD in biochemistry, PhD in chemical engineering, and having a platform for them to actually be here in St. Nevis and work. But what you're offering is something whereby St. Nevis, a long-term investment where we could become profitable. It can become profitable and also provide employment and be a hub whereby persons from across the region and even the world may want to be a part of this. But as you say, it really takes some sort of sit-down, brain work planning. And what I say oftentimes is because, again, the politics when you come to St. Kitts and Nevis, everything has to be here. We sometimes, political parties and, everything is, you think about now and winning an election rather than a plan whereby you want to see St. Kitts and Nevis and ensuring that regardless of what party is in, that plan continues.
That's right, Azard. That's a good point. And I think what we have to do here is start being strategic rather than transactional.
Yes.
That's the only way that we are going to be able to solve these great opportunities for economic empowerment and be a player in all of the global mega trends such as sustainability. And I'll tell you, when we talk about the natural resources that we have, as you know, if you're a student of history, over 400 years ago, unfortunately, we were held captive by the fact that we had the best natural resources, not physical resources as in bauxite or oil, but we had the best natural resources in the Caribbean. That's why we were unfortunately in 1625 held captive. Why are we going to let people 400 years ago take advantage of opportunity that's we're here? And we're going to wait 400 years later, right, for them to come back again and realize the potential and take advantage of the opportunity that we have. That's the main purpose why I'm here.
Yes.
Now, could I be on the beach? Yes. I could be in Nevis at Sunshines. I could be doing a lot of other things. But I wanted to make it an imperative, a priority for me to come back home to a place that's responsible not just for my education, but for my historical education, for me to have a good perspective to share this with you of the opportunity that we have. So I'm calling for a call to action for all of us to collaborate, get together, come up with a strategy, a bold vision for the future of how we can take advantage of sustainability in this country, whether it's through energy, like you said, geothermal. The trucks we have, 55 kilograms going to get us 700 miles, right? There's a tank. The company that I work for, we invest in the material that encloses the hydrogen so that you could load it on a truck, right? When you look at the algae, the stuff that I work on, we extract oils from different plants and to use as surfactants.
Yes.
Right? So there's a lot of technology that I work on that I practice, and it's not conceptual or coming from a textbook. I actually do it.
Yes.
And so I figured who would be the best person to come back to this nation and to lend this knowledge. And it's up to individuals who want to take the signal in, whether I'm signaling or whether I'm providing a platform or whether I'm an investor myself. It doesn't really matter. It's being a trendsetter and giving people the ideas so that they could promulgate into investing in our future.
Definitely. And as you said before, we only have a few more minutes left. As you said, if half an hour would not have been sufficient. So as we conclude temporarily, I do want to invite you. I know you guys are here for some time. Perhaps you could have another follow-up interview this week. We could have discussions off air and to say when we can speak again, because a lot of information, what you have given us is an introduction as to some of the things that we have here in St. Kitts and Nevis that can be used to the benefit of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I do think that is a lot of food for thought, especially as we think about being sustainable island states, as we think about the CBI program and looking at, the next level in which we can diversify. We had the sugar industry for some time. After that, we went into tourism, but we see that, things are changing, and we have to look at whereby St. Kitts and Nevis can put itself in a place where, we can sustain ourselves, where we can offer employment, where we can expand. And so this discussion is very fruitful, and I want to thank all of both of you to be here.
And I think in closing, and I'd like Jesse to also say something, but in closing, I think the opportunity we have here is not just protecting our planet, protecting our ecosystem we live in, but also improving our quality of life and providing economic opportunity. So all the things that I'm speaking about today, next time I may have the numbers of what each technology we're talking about, whether it's geothermal, whether it's hydrogen fuel, what jobs it can provide, opportunities, diversifying the economy, providing a new green economy, and think it's becoming the center of excellence for green, sustainable energy, whether it's renewable sources, whether it's a biocircularity, meaning taking plastic and recycling it, whether it's actually getting raw materials that are biosourced from algae, whatever. Okay. We are primed to do that.
Yes.
So I'd like to thank you so much for having me here. And like I said, I'm no stranger to Win FM. I'm no stranger to coming back and talking about things that are significant and advantageous to this wonderful federation. Jesse, if you'd
just
like
want to say thank you for the opportunity. Last thing, I'm preparing to move to St. Kitts.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you both. We conclude. We have Money Matters next.
And thank you so much.
No problem.
Yep.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.